People don't like their time wasted. People actually want to be there for you. People actually want to help you. But if you're constantly complaining when nothing is happening, you're making a big deal out of things when things aren't as big of a deal, it's going to be harder for people to want to come around you and support you when you actually need help, when you're actually in a downturn, when circumstances are not going in your favor. Thank you for watching and subscribing to the page. Now you can watch and subscribe on any other page on YouTube, but you chose me. So I wanted to thank you, appreciate you, and I love you. At some point you gotta stop playing the little boy that cries wolf. So I'm sure you know that story where there's a little boy that cried wolf even when there wasn't anything there. So basically I saw that as something was happening in that boy's head, and he thought he thought it was funny at the end of the day. I'm sure you know the story of the little boy that cried wolf. He was playing a joke with people, saying that there was a wolf wherever he was. I don't remember the full story, but no, he was crying wolf. People would come and try and help and save him because, they wanted to help him. And there was no wolf every time they showed up. So after a few times of him doing that, and a real wolf showed up, nobody showed up to help him, and led to his own demise. So I relate that to real life. When you're going through something, take it serious. Don't make it a joke with things in general. Yes, we need to have some humor, we need to have some fun and be able to escape at times. But understand, people don't like their time wasted. People actually want to be there for you, people actually want to help you. But if you're constantly complaining when nothing is happening, you're making a big deal out of things when things aren't as big of a deal, it's going to be harder for people to want to come around you and support you when you actually need help, when you're actually in a downturn, when circumstances are not going in your favor. And I don't want to downplay that to say what you go through on a short-term basis is not bad, but there are some things that you can handle by yourself. And there are some things that you have to learn and understand within yourself that you can do by yourself without people. Especially if you understand at some point everybody has a pattern. So once you understand you have a pattern, you're stressing over the same things, you're complaining about the same problems can seem to arise every single time. You have to understand at some point that is not the world. That is not your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend. It's not your kids. It's not your spouse. It's not your parents. It's not your brothers and sisters. It's not your friends, your old friends, anything like that. At some point, you got to realize that's you. That's your life and your pattern. Everybody has patterns. They could be good patterns and bad patterns, but know that everybody does have patterns. And being in a place where you don't know your patterns is not a good thing, because you're going to go through the same things over and over again, and you're going to wonder why you always go through the same thing. You're always going to wonder why it's you. But if the same thing keeps happening in a different scenario, but it's the same type of thing coming to the same end result, and you're complaining about it time and time again, month after month, year after year, it is no longer your circumstance. It is no longer the world. It is no longer somebody else. It is now you. You are the pattern that keeps continuing in your life. And you have to be aware and understand that. Because if you're not paying attention and you keep going through the same thing, you're going to keep leading yourself to your own demise. You're the reason why you are where you are. And that's tough to hear, I know. But your life is your responsibility as a whole. Nobody else is here to rescue you. There are people that are here to help you, uplift you, and encourage you and accept you for who you are. But at the end of the day, no one's going to rescue you. And so when you're going through things, you have to sit back and really reflect on your life. Not just on what's happening now, But going as far back to your childhood, how you were raised, what you went through, the things you felt, and the things you actually dealt with, so that you can understand if some of those things that were happening then are still happening now, and you notice those people from your life back then are no longer in your life now, or not as involved in your life now, you have to understand it is no longer outside circumstances. It is now you. It is now a normalized part of your life. You have now normalized trauma. You have now normalized dysfunction. You've now normalized disorder. If you ever notice, every time things are going good, it feels like you're going crazy. It feels like something needs to be happening, like you need to be fighting with somebody. You need to be trying to do something exciting. That's the definition of dysfunction. You're looking for trouble because now trouble and dysfunction is normal to you. That's something you, what's the word I want to say? You normalize dysfunction. It is now normal for you to have arguments. It is now normal for you to be hurt. It is now normal for you to hurt other people. It is now normal for you to make everything about you and play the victim. You have now normalized that lifestyle, and that is not a good thing. And you have to understand why that's not a good thing. Because what you're going through is going to affect the people around you. So if you have normalized dysfunction, you have normalized hurt, you have normalized pain, and not just internally where you're hurting yourself, but you actually spew it out and make it external and hurt other people around you, now it becomes a bigger issue where it's literally not about you anymore. It is now about other people. And leading back to what I said about the little boy that cried wolf and kind of bringing this full circle, understand that when you start doing stuff like that, that is the same thing as what that little boy was doing. You're claiming you need help, you're claiming you're in distress, you're claiming that life is hard, but you keep going through the same thing time and time again. Everybody else is probably getting tired of it. Everybody else is tired of rescuing you, and you keep jumping in the water knowing you can't swim. At some point, you gotta learn how to swim. Because at some point, that person who rescued you before may not be here. They may not be available. It might be a time where you actually are on your own, and you do have to figure it out. And if you've relied on other people to take care of you, to rescue you, to coddle you and make you feel good, you're now lost because now you're going to search for that in every relationship, whether it's with a potential partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, with your kids, with family members, or anything like that. You're going to look for all that stuff in all aspects of your life. So know that you are not alone, but you do have the responsibility of taking care of your own life. No one else is going to rescue you. Don't be that little boy that cried wolf. Don't be the person that cries and complains about the same thing over and over and over again. And it's something that you can resolve for yourself. Because when you do get to those points where you actually need somebody's help, when you actually need protection, when you actually need support, it's going to be a hard truth when you realize they're not actually going to be there for you. They're not going to show up. And it wasn't on them, it was on you.